Hey everyone, Mango7Roll here. How we doing today? Welcome to another episode of Epic 7, and today we're going to be going over the patch notes we just saw. There's quite a few things to take a look at. Specifically, one, we got a specialty change Alexa. A little bit confused by that. I feel like this was a prime opportunity for them to make money and for us to save 20% off with Amazon coins. The link down there below. Use my link, save 20% off. But they didn't want to make money, so they made her a specialty change instead, and I'm really just so confused about it. We also get an Ariminta EE that I'm still absorbing. We just got it revealed a couple minutes ago, and I'm still trying to figure that out. And we have Sylvan Sage, which is the code of the box in your mailbox to get you 3 leaves and 300,000 gold. Let's just jump into this. So yeah, this is what we get to see today. Balance is on Ariminta and Sid for EEs. Finally, time for Ariminta. I'm pretty stoked about this. A little bit indifferent on them so far, but maybe by the time we get back to them, I have some more thoughts in my head and I can talk about it. But first, let's talk about the specialty change that I'm, again, really confused about. They had ample opportunity to make tons of money, and they just didn't. I just don't understand. I don't understand what goes through their head. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me why we end up with stuff like this instead of a new limited unit like other games, you know? But her animation is insane. It's so cool. Like, let's be real. It's awesome. The other cool thing is this is Erica Lindbeck. So if it was a new unit, we'd have another awesome character voiced by Erica Lindbeck, who's just one of the best VAs in the business. So a little bit confused on that, you know. I don't fully understand why we don't get new characters like this, but hey, let's go take a look at what she does. So first things first here, a little bit of a cluster in terms of what's showing on my screen right now. Let's try to do that. Okay, so she's over there. Sure, we'll just do this. Bear with me. So we have Glistening Summer Spikes. This basically just gives her attack buff for 3 turns. It makes it so she is an on skills instead of an off skills unit. The other thing is she's basically just the exact same she was before, just a little better. She's going to do more damage. She's going to be faster. She's going to have some CR boosts and stuff like that. She's just going to do her job better. That's the entirety of this SC, which is a little bit weird because we have Mui now, who's an insane unit for Wyvern, and we don't really need anybody else, but, you know, they keep handing us these units, and why not? So we have some runes here, some attacks, some health, and some crit damage buffs. We then have the Fruition Rune, which gives the attack buff to other people. And also, when attacked, if the attacker has a debuff, decreases the damage suffered by 8%. And the same when more than one is there. So then we have the Glistening Summer Spike. So there's some more runes here. We have damage dealt by 5% of the target's max health, which is pretty good. And if a critical hit lands, which it will because, you know, she's gonna crit every time, it decreases the skill cooldown of this by 1 turn. So she's gonna be able to cycle that for sure. We have Cold Edge as well, which increases the damage dealt and also increases her combat readiness by 20% when she uses this. And then we have Fell, which is her skill 1. Usually that was what we just 24/7 before, but now as skills on, we'll be using skill 2 and skill 3 as well. And this boosts her CR by 10. And remember, she does this twice, I believe. Oh no, it only does it once. So they're both not Fell, just one is Fell, then it turns into Lightning Bolt. So she'll get 10% CR from that. Next up, we have what you're all waiting for, and I want to watch this again because honestly, it was pretty sick. And that is going to be Sylvan Sage Vivian.
The magic I've learned, I will rewrite the future. You shouldn't have come here. Now it's too late to escape. The majesty of nature. Be humbled.
Okay, so obviously an insane looking ability. I love it so much, but our kit's a little bit interesting. We have beautiful art, absolutely insane beautiful art. And yes, everybody wants me to talk about the censoring. I said my part. It sucks. Censoring sucks. I'm not sure what to say about it. The best you can do if you care a lot about censoring is just don't spend money. Don't spam every stream and everything with LOL epic censor. Don't be that guy. That's not cool. Just, like, you know, don't spend your money. Stay free to play. is all I can say, if that really does bother you. So we have her stats here, and she's got the whale imprint, which gives her 40% chance to crit with imprints just base, which is insane, of course. 1350 attack, low HP, which is always the thing with the mages. We then have 110 speed, pretty good. Defense is actually pretty good as well. No effectiveness, no ER. Have insight, and this is kind of interesting. This is a focus unit, so she's going to be countered by Solitaria, and she starts with 3 focus, and she gains 1 focus at every turn. And whenever she takes damage, if it's more than 50% of her HP, no, it's more than 20%, 25% of her max HP, she decreases the damage suffered by 70% with full Mulagora. So if she takes a 10,000 damage hit, she only takes 3,000 of it, I think. I'm sure there's other mitigation calculations and everything in that, but basically she's gonna prevent a lot of damage being dealt to her, and this is kind of like a resource to keep her healthy, and every time she takes a turn she gets more protection, right? We then have Nature's Judgment, which is her skill 3, which is a 6-turn cooldown. And this attacks all enemies by bringing forth the power of nature with a increased critical hit damage AoE buff. Second one to have this, I believe, unlike what Matthew said, and it also recovers the health of all allies and increases the attack of the caster. So the other cool thing here is recovers proportionate to the target's max HP, and the increased attack stacks up to 3 times, which is really sweet too. So this doesn't give you attack buff, this just increases your attack, kind of like Luluka. You then have her skill 1, which is actually pretty solid. It's just straight up increases speed of her, does some damage if you soul burn, which is only 10 souls. 10 soul soul burns are fantastic. It does attack all enemies and then cannot trigger a dual attack. So that is Sage Vivian. I'm not sure what much to say about her, but from what I can say, she looks pretty interesting. She'll definitely be decent at baiting units, but the thing is, she's also is not particularly good at baiting units because she's a light/dark unit instead of RGB, which makes it harder to bait something like Hwayong. Hwayong still might kill her. I'm not sure how that does, even with 70% damage reduction. I'm not sure if the Hwayong Uber's tooth and stuff like that procs the damage reduction, how that works. Again, somebody in the comments that knows how those interaction works will be better than me at that. And then we have the SCs. This is what I really wanted to get at. So we have Balances on Cape of Selfish Interest. Nobody's really familiar with what he does. I know he does a lot of debuffs. Ghost Haunt here, he poisons. But from what I can see, Last Requiem, his skill 3, number 2, debuffs, dispels 1 buff from all enemies when using, oh my god, Mango, read the thing, it says it right there. Skill 3, Last Requiem, dispels, I just want to get to Ariminta, dispels 1 buff from all enemies when using Last Requiem. That's probably the one that people are going to be using because 5% increased effect chance is not where it's at. 10% on Ghost Haunt, his Steel one, is not where it's at either, so I really only see that one being used. And then we have Ariminta. So it's actually kind of funny. I can't complain about this, but I said Ariminta is one of the units that I would be very happy if she got an attack imprint, an HP imprint, a defense imprint, or an effectiveness imprint. Any one of those would have been fantastic. Speed is also fantastic, don't get me wrong, but that is good. That is good news. She definitely needed something like this. We then have a burn chance increase on Ignite by 10%, which only brings her up to 60% chance to burn on her skill 1, which is not so great because you're not using that until your 3rd action of the battle. Then you're using it once, and then you're probably cycling skills again. So very lackluster skill 1. If you're gonna make like a skill 1 that already has a 50% chance to ignite, like make it better, you know, like make it viable instead of just useless. Like nobody's gonna use that. I don't understand why they do stuff like that. It's just nonsensical to have something like that in. We then have skill 2 Catalyst, and this increases Catalyst combat readiness increase effect by 5%. This one is pretty great because right now it is 25%. So if you hit all 4 people with your Catalyst, you will get 100% CR. Now you get 120 if you hit all 4. So if you hit 3, you get 90. If you get 2, you get 60. And I find I hit 2 to 3 mostly. So getting 60 to 90% CR would be pretty fantastic, and I would be a-okay with that. The other thing to take a look at here is increase Fire Pillar chance. So not sure what to think about this one either. So this is 10% increased chance to stun, which only brings it from 50% to 60%. Like, that is fantastic. Don't get me wrong. It's just like so unreliable, right? Like what she needed was stability, and none of these give her stability, except for Catalyst, kind of. So I think personally I'm going to be using Catalyst just to help boost her CR up a little bit more. But none of these are really doing anything for her, right? Like they're just making her slightly more consistent sometimes. And they're basically stuff you're not really going to notice. Like you're not going to notice 10% chance here and 10% chance there. Like you're going to miss, you're going to hit, you're going to miss, you're going to hit. Like you're never going to notice. Catalyst you might actually, so that's why I'm going to be using that one. So we've been waiting a long time for this, and I'm happy to try it out. And I will get all three and try out all three, and maybe there's some dual attack ignite build that I'm missing that maybe makes that good. And then we have Sid Restrained Ferality, so people were pretty pissed about this one, giving him effectiveness instead of anything else. But skill 3 hack here grants advantageous element effect to hack, regardless of whether the caster is granted increased speed. This is fantastic, makes him just a lot better all around. Also, he can decrease combat readiness of the target, and 35% chance to decrease the speed of the target. So this is actually really fantastic. Sid is really good for stuff like expeditions and other PvE. And these really help him out. I'm really happy with this. Effectiveness is not something to be scoffed at. You need that effectiveness, and you get other stats instead elsewhere. Pretty happy with this EE. I think this one's pretty good. They have a really, really solid skill 3 one. They have 2 PvE ones, and they have an overall decent effectiveness boost. So next up, we have the drop rate ups for Summertime Iceria, Tenebria, Balance is on. There's one more, Vildred, and Sylvan Sage with Assassin Cartusia. And that is going to be it for today. There is no new summer unit. There's nothing like that. We're a little bit disappointed, but you know, we got to keep our heads held high and keep hoping they try to take our money from us so we can save 20% with Amazon coins in the link description below. So I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, everybody.